So how many pints should you drink before you drive home?
Should you drink before you drive home?
Because obviously you got to have some.
Clearly, you got to keep it low though. You got to keep it to like 7 or 8. I think anything above that, you're probably borderline.
You're probably too sober and shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. So.
Social media users, according to this article, have been left stunned after learning how much pub goers would drink in the 1960s before driving home. So in 1967, a landmark Road Safety Act made it illegal for drivers in the UK to get behind the wheel with a blood alcohol concentration of more than 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 mil of blood, which is still the same today.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't even bothered to update it since the 60s.
No, it's outdated at this point. But yeah. So
they went and interviewed people back in the 60s when it was announced that this was going to be coming in, and people were proposing it. That before that, there was a limit put as high as 1.5% blood alcohol level was a proposal. So that's almost double, I guess, what it currently is, and which is pretty damn high. Like that's
yeah.
That's a fairly drunk state.
You could say.
So in the clip, the interviewer asked people if they've done breathalyzers before going home, and then someone described it as fairly diabolical, arguing it didn't take into account how drunk a pedestrian involved in an accident might be.
Yeah, all those drunken pedestrians.
Yeah, causing all those accidents with cars. All those drunken pedestrians crossing the road while they're trying to drive drunk through a red light.
Yeah.
Do they have no courtesy?
Yeah, what do I think they're doing?
I was at 0.14 and these assholes are completely sober. And these assholes are, I mean, that's so high that here I think you like lose your car if you're that high. And that was like, if you blow that high while you're driving and get caught, you lose the car here now. Whereas that was the proposal of the
you you got to get up to that level where you're okay at 1.4. And then, like straight away, your first couple of weeks drinking, you're not going to be able to handle the car. You just got to build up to it, more practice, and so forth. But yeah,
so that's easily 6 pints, and you're good to drive with that.
But also, you got to remember that the cars in the 60s wouldn't have like power steering or proper brakes like we have now and stuff. So it would have been like fucking driving
indicators,
a tank.
Lights.
Yeah. So reverse light wasn't a thing for like a long time as well.
Also, do pedestrians have lights? Do pedestrians have power steering?
No, they don't. But
do pedestrians have airbags?
They should. They should.
Yeah. I want to start all pedestrians should have indicators and power steering installed.
It's a proposal, but imagine back in the 60s, 5-6 pints, no problem, get in your car, drive home, kill 3 people on the way. But I was under the limit, so it's fine. So.
Yeah, what did I do wrong, sir?
Did you have a few drinks? Yeah, just 5 or 6. Okay. Then.
I think I lost count at about 9, but what was I supposed to do? How many drinks did the guy that I ran over have?
Yeah, maybe it was.
Sure, it was a baby in a pram, but maybe the baby was drunk.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, you got to take it into consideration though, because sober person.
Maybe that primary school that was on an excursion that I ran over and killed all of them. Maybe they were all drunk.
It was the 60s after all. Who knows?
Yeah.
So.
Well, according to this guy at the pub in the 60s, he said he could cause an accident, but he doesn't get tested. It's the driver who gets tested, and I think that's unfair. And the same customer expressed belief that he'd be fine to drive even if he'd had more than 8 drinks, claiming he would drive no differently, while another expressed his plans to drive home after consuming 3 pints, enough to put him over the incoming legal limit. And then they interviewed someone who was behind the wheel after having 4 pints, said he'd be willing to take his intake down to 3 and insisted he would still be able to enjoy his evening.
Would you though? I don't know if you would, pal. I think just have that sneaky 4th one and say nothing, and just hope you don't get tested on the way home.
Just don't walk, because that would be dangerous.
That would be dangerous. You know who you're going to run into when you're walking around, drunk drivers and stuff. But yeah, there you go. The 60s was a different time.
It does go on to say that it's worth noting that it has been an offense since 1925 to be found drunk while in charge of any mechanically propelled vehicle on any highway or other public place.
Okay.
So if you do run over kids in a school, is that a public place?
I think it's private property, really. So,
hey, they should have gone to public school. That'll serve them right. You go to private school, sucks for you.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
in the name, Your Honor. It's in the name. That was a private school. I'm allowed to drink that.
Oh man.
I reckon at some point you would have been able to get off with that expression that, hey, this was a private school, so therefore it's not public. And under the law, it says public places.
Most likely. Just weird to think about, but yeah, you're probably right. Wow.
But yeah, imagine back in 1925, 10 pints, you're okay to drive.
Yeah. Back in 1925, I mean, fuck. I mean, you couldn't go very fast. Your car's going like 15 miles an hour, but whatever.
Probably struggled to move at all.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think, we should look into these laws, see exactly how many people died and how many people had 6 pints or more who were involved in those accidents. So,
how many people were killed by drunk drivers?
Yeah,
in 1950s. They actually have the statistics. So the statistics were very low back in 1925 when they had no things. It was only, so I found the list for Australia. It says 11.8 per 100,000 people died in road fatalities. So no one was dying. Okay. It does turn out that it's now like 4.6. So actually it was double. So I guess that does kind of.
Yeah, but at what cost?
How many people had to give up their 9th beer as a result of this?
Yeah. Some people probably stayed home and didn't meet their soulmate because of that. There's so many illegitimate children did not get born because of that long. So what about that?
So in 1899, there were 26 motor vehicle deaths in the US.
I mean, the US is
the first person to die of a motor vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one. It's like, I bet I can stand in front of it and stop it. Oh, shit. You got flat. Billy's the first person to die by being hit by a car, folks.
Hey, why don't you try driving after 20 pints? I'll just stand in front of you.
Oh, man.
Imagine, though, how proud you'd be if, like, your great-great-great-grandfather was killed in a drunk driving accident in the 1800s. I'd be introducing myself with that fact if I knew that. In fact, I might even start just doing it.
Just doing it for the crack, yeah. Just be like, hey, my great-great-grandfather died in the first car accident. What?
He was the first person involved in a drunk driving accident. Wow, he was hit by a car. Well, he was the one driving, hit a pedestrian. He died. Somehow the pedestrian was too drunk to get injured, and yeah.
Yeah. All while in a car that was going 7 miles an hour.
Look, if you've had 30 pints.
Look out, get out of the way. What? Shit.
Actually, his mate bet him 10 pounds from last week, and he drank a bottle of Jaeger and died while driving.
If only he'd had seatbelts, I think it would have worked. He would have been fine, but
yeah.
No.
There's bloody lax road safety laws. If they'd had seatbelt laws, he'd be fine.
Yeah, if he'd had safety features that were invented 60 years later, would have been fucking fine. But no, didn't have.
If he had an airbag, he would have been able to have a 30th beer and be completely fine.
Yeah.
Trying to see if there is. Okay, there is actually. And weirdly, his name is Henry H. Bliss.
Okay.
The first recorded instance of a person being killed in a motor vehicle collision in the United States. In Central Park in New York.
Wow.
So he was getting out of a trolley car when a electric-powered taxi cab ran him over.
It's not the way you want to go, but there you go. Sure, Mr. Bliss did not enjoy that.
Live a life of bliss, I guess.
Yeah, his blissful existence ended right there.
There's a plaque dedicated to him in 1999. So 100 years later.
Is it in Central Park?
It must be. It's West 74th Street in Central Park West.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those, because they got all those different plaques and monuments and stuff to people in Central Park. It's one of those I've never visited. The one for the first guy to get hit by a car.
First guy to down 30 beers and drive home. They need a plaque for all the people that made it home successfully.
Next time I'm in New York, that's what I'm doing. First day. What did you come to New York for? Well, there's this plaque in Central Park where a guy was hit by a car. Go see that.
Well, in another odd twist of events where we go down really weird rabbit holes. So his family, his stepdaughter was later tried for the murder of her mother, Bliss's ex-wife, by means of poisoned chowder.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
Had he not been struck by a car, he could have been poisoned by his stepdaughter.
Yeah, that's a movie right there. just avoid all these death-defying things happen. Almost get hit by a car, almost get run over by a horse in the street, whatever. Avoid the early days of the mafia, all this sort of stuff, and then fucking get murdered by poison chowder.
Well, this is the anti-road safety ad. See, this guy, the first person to ever get struck by a motor vehicle, probably would have been poisoned by his stepdaughter anyway. So
Which would
are
be more
road safety
traumatic.
accidents that bad, really?
It would have been more traumatic. I think he would have, he would have felt worse in that situation.
So the first person known to being so the first person known to have been killed by a car in Ireland was significantly before this, in 1869. Mary Ward, and there is a lot of writing about her. So she was an Irish naturalist, astronomer, microscopist, author, and artist. I think she needed to pick one career.
Yeah.
She fell under the wheels of an experimental steam car built by her cousins.
Wow.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
1869.
1869. There you go. So, yeah, 100 and whatever, 50 years ago.
There's a lot about her in Wikipedia, like almost too much, where you go, like there's literally a section on her interests. Like, do we really care about the interests and distinctions and her marriage?
Absolutely, we do.
So, okay, let's find out about her interests. She also drew insects.
She drew insects.
Yeah,
So,
insects.
Oh, like the creatures. Drew
And
people.
astronomer James South observed her doing so one day, it says. Very vital, important information there.
Wait a minute. He did what now?
She was also using magnifying glass to see the tiny details, and her drawings so impressed him that he immediately persuaded her father to buy her a microscope.
Wow.
Imagine falling
What a
under a
story.
car and then they have this much detail about you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what microscope did he buy? Well, he bought her a compound microscope made by Andrew Ross, model 112, and it was purchased for £18, 12 shillings, and a D. I don't even know what the D is. This was the beginning of her lifelong passion. Life that was not that long, thanks to the motor vehicle.
Yeah, she had some interesting interests right there. But that sounds like a really expensive microphone back in the day. Like
Microscope.
Or microscope even. That would be more, yeah. I don't think they had microphones back in the day. But yeah, it still sounds pretty expensive because, like, I know, for example, like my grandparents bought a house in the 50s and it was like £350. So I'm guessing like 90 years before that, that same house would have cost like 25. So,
Well, maybe they should have spent like 2 or 3 on a seatbelt.
Exactly. Who would have thought?
Or they don't, and then there would be no Wikipedia page about her and her interests. And this fantastic microscope that was bought for her.
I bet it's in a museum somewhere in Dublin. It's like, this is the microscope.
Okay. You said it, and legitimately, legacy. Ward's microscope, accessories, slides, and books are on display in her husband's home, Castle Ward, County Down.
All right, road trip.
Let's schedule like 3 weeks to spend there because we don't want to miss any details.
We got to dig into this one, yeah, for sure.
It is open to the public.
Awesome.
So yeah, we can spend all day there.
I mean, it would probably take like 3 minutes, but we can spend all day there.
It's a microscope. Okay.
Here's the
What
books. She drew this picture of a spider. Oh, fantastic. What else is there? Here's the Carter. Run her over.
Well, her great granddaughter is English actress and author Layla Ward, who is in Doctor Who, or was in Doctor Who.
All right. Well, I don't know who she is.
Yep, there we go.
All right.
But the first death of a pedestrian, because she was thrown under a car when they were showing off.
Yeah.
So they were basically hoons who were showing off in the 1869 version of doing burnouts, and then she fell into the car and died. But Bridget Driscoll was the first recorded case of a pedestrian in 1896 in Great Britain. She was crossing Dolphin Terrace in the grounds of Crystal Palace in London when she was struck by a car belonging to Anglo-French Motor Carriage Company that was being used to give demonstration rides.
Ooh.
Probably not something you want to include in a demonstration.
No.
Here's how you run over a pedestrian.
Is it safe? 100% safe for the person in the car.
And guess what speed they were going at?
9 miles an hour.
I mean, that would be ridiculously fast. They were doing 4.
4 miles an
How
hour.
do you run someone over and kill them at 4 miles per hour?
That's like somebody running.
That's somebody running. You can easily outrun that. That's a fast walk.
Yeah, but maybe someone with like little tiny legs running.
Obviously, Bridget Driscoll wasn't running, or otherwise she wouldn't have been fucking hit by a 4 mile per hour car.
Yeah, what did she not see it coming? Was it running towards her for like 20 minutes?
Although his passenger, Alice Standing of Forest Hill, alleged that the driver had modified the engine to allow the car to go faster.
So he's
but
a boy
another
racer.
taxi cab driver examined the car and said it was incapable of exceeding 4.5 miles per hour.
How did cars ever become a thing if they were going 4.5 miles an hour?
Do you want to know what's
everyone's
even
like, oh, one of those.
So this collision happened just a few weeks after a new act of parliament had increased the speed limit for cars to 14 miles per hour from 2 miles per hour.
What?
Imagine the speed limit is 2.
Also, how were they monitoring this? They didn't have any proper like I think you're going too fast. I'm not. Seriously, it was 2 miles an hour. Prove I wasn't.
I think you were doing about 3 there.
You might have been 2.9, but it was definitely fucking. What if you were just like going downhill and she was like fucking flying 30 miles an hour?
How do you go downhill at 2 miles per hour?
I think it's possible, but
yeah, how are you even supposed to walk that slow? So the driver had to go before the court, and the jury returned a verdict of accidental death after an inquest lasting some 6 hours.
Wow.
The coroner, Percy Morrison, who is basically Nostradamus, when he said he hoped such a thing would never happen again.
Oh, well.
And he was right.
100%
Not a single
right.
person ever was run over at 4 miles per hour again.
Yeah. That's not what you want in your Wikipedia page. Was hit by a car going 4 miles an hour. They miss a number there. Nope.
Yeah, the annoying thing is it doesn't tell you more information because, I want to know how on earth you get run over at 4 miles per hour?
Good question. Yeah.
Like, even if you're not looking, if someone tried to run you over from behind at 4 miles per hour, you would have enough time to react. And also the car would probably bounce off you.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how you would get hit by a car at that speed and kill you. Unless it like scared the shit out of you and you had a heart attack.
Well, it does seem like that is the case, because it's saying, I've gone onto an article now about what happened. It says she could be forgiven for being bewildered by the imported Roger Benz, which was part of a motoring exhibition taking place. She attended a Catholic League of the Crossed Fate with her 16-year-old daughter and a friend. When giving mention to a memorial at her local church, hers was the misfortune of becoming the UK's first traffic fatality.
Wow.
So a witness said that the car went at a tremendous pace, as fast as a horse could gallop.
Wow. I mean, horses can gallop faster than 4 miles an hour, so.
Yeah, but the thing is that even if you're driving, how would you know back then? Like, I'm assuming they wouldn't even be able to tell you what pace the car was going at.
Yeah. It's a good point. I don't know.
One of the two passengers, Alan Standing, told the inquest she heard the driver shout, "Stand back." Now, what an odd name for someone to be mentioned in history.
Yes, it seems like he may have given a false name.
She heard the driver shout, "Stand back," and then the car swerved, giving her a peculiar sensation.
Ooh.
So imagine she got turned on by the car swerving at 4 miles per hour.
She's like, wait, do that again.
Oh my God, you're reckless. Turning at 4 miles per hour, we could flip.
Oh man, that is pretty nerdy.
Wow. So the woman hesitated in front of the car and seemed bewildered before being hit, the inquest heard. So basically, she saw a car coming at her at 4 miles per hour and she just stopped.
Yeah, that's not good. But I guess like maybe it's the first time she ever saw a car moving. And she was like, what the fuck is that? And then smack.
Oh my God, it's coming at me.
Yeah. Straight away, like 30 minutes later, she just got smacked in the face with it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, what a weird it reported May Driscoll is claiming the driver did not seem to understand what he was doing and that he had zigzagged towards them.
That sounds like, you know what this is starting to sound like? This is somebody who went back in time to prevent somebody from being born by killing their mother. He was like, I'm going to get her one way or the other. And then no one's ever been hit by a car before, so I'll be totally fine.
Yeah. And I'm going to turn on my passenger while I can because, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, just randomly turn on this, like, Victorian lady.
That's it. If we learn anything today, if you go back in time, randomly just turn on random women, just to add some sensation into the history.
Yeah, I think it's just good manners to do that. Just be like, hey, let's give you this new sensation.
Well, he was driving without a license for only 3 weeks at this time and had been given no instruction as to which side of the road to keep to.
I mean, I don't think it was that big a deal. There wasn't that many other cars in his way. in the 1800s. You know.
Well, yeah, he's also trying to turn his passenger on, so he's getting...
How else am I supposed to turn her on? Just by driving in a straight line? Fuck no.
It actually says that it was such a rare animal to be on the roads and for her to be killed, people would have thought the story was made up.
Yeah, because it wasn't. It does sound a bit outlandish. It does sound kind of a little bit like he did it on purpose just to fucking see what would happen.
Let's just run her over at 4 miles per hour and see.
Yeah. He's like, watch, I'm going to scare the shit out of this other woman. You're going to get turned on. She's going to get scared. Oh, fuck, I hit her. So, yeah.
Well, okay, so each vehicle was expected to have a team of 3 in control. The driver, the fireman to stoke the engine, and the flagman whose job was to walk 60 yards in front waving a red flag to warn horse-drawn traffic of the machine's approach. So cars were literally that slow. Someone had to walk in front and wave a flag.
I do miss having a flagman in front of my car. Just, get out of the fucking way.
Yeah, I don't need indicators. I have a flagman.
I mean, how did these things ever become popular? But sounds good.
Yeah. That was history. We learned a lot about history today.
We did. We've gone all historical for a change. Usually it's just about swingers parties and stuff. So.
Well, on that note, have you ever got in trouble for not going to the bathroom?
No. Once or twice for going to the bathroom, but that's a different story.
There was a car coming at me at 4 miles per hour, and I just need to get a piss. And I have plenty of time to finish and walk away.
Yeah.
Well, go to the bathroom. A tennis star has been fined for not using the toilet in a ridiculous ruling. In a thrilling clash, they say, that took more than 3 hours to finish. But at the end of the first set, in which Ruud lost in a tiebreaker, he took a bathroom break. Rather than needing to use the amenities, however, he just wanted a change of clothes. When he returned, umpire Fergus Murphy told Ruud he was in violation of the rules because he didn't go to the bathroom.
I mean, that seems a bit harsh. Maybe he had already shit himself and just changed clothes. So
maybe this is the umpire's polite way of saying, I can smell you from up here.
It could be. It sounds a bit harsh from this umpire's point of view, to be honest, or from his reasoning. But that's fucking stupid. It's why I'm not a professional tennis player. Couldn't put up with all these bullshit rules.
Yeah, I refuse to go to the bathroom if I change.
Yeah, but also what he should have done is go into the bathroom to change his clothes. And then be like, yeah, I totally just changed my clothes because I got shit on them. So sorry about that. There's no rule against changing your clothes, surely. So. Yeah,
or he could have done what this next person did and just blame it on God. So we don't like to get religious too often, but in this case, well, yeah. So woman claims God gave her an STD and says it is a blessing.
He's always doing that.
Yeah.
Did she? Did she meet him in a nightclub on a Friday, or?
Well, it's a woman from Las Vegas, and it was a case of the divine intervention after she contracted herpes in 2011.
Oh, nice.
So she caught the disease from someone she was dating at the time and was struggling with her alcohol intake, binge eating, and poor finances.
Okay.
She suffers from both oral and genital herpes and is particularly painful around her private parts. Despite her painful condition, the Sin City native is now remarkably upbeat and believes herpes has helped her to turn her life around. I was being a responsible adult, so when this happened to me, it was absolutely devastating, crushing, and suffocating. It took me 2 years before I came to terms with it. I was turning 30 and I thought, I can't stay like this. I need to figure this out. I felt like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I cried every day. I just couldn't seem to get out of this fog.
Okay.
I was living with my parents. I needed to fix my finances. I needed to change my lifestyle. I needed to work on the mindset of self-acceptance and self-confidence. And that is why I want to be your accountant.
So wait, all of these bad things that were happening, all the things she was upset with and stuff, that was all cured by getting herpes.
Well, she says, I believe that God was giving me messages along the way that I wasn't on my path. I wasn't being who I was meant to be.
Okay.
Finally, God gave me herpes so I would wake up, listen, and make changes. I think God was showing me that my life wasn't the one I was meant to be living.
Interesting teaching technique God uses there in that scenario. Here's a lifelong disease that you can't cure. That's going to make your private parts hurt. Very interesting. I don't know if many people who catch or get herpes think to themselves, you know what? Thanks, God. Got me back on track.
Well, she says getting herpes was a blessing in my life because it allowed me to focus on who I am and learn to love myself and grow with confidence.
Yeah, I think it would have the opposite effect for most people, but good for her. Nice, refreshing story to, got herpes, it changed my life for the better.
Well, another man whose life has changed for the better is an Indian man who has won a 22-year court battle against railways over guess how much?
£3.50.
That's ridiculous. He was charged 20 rupees or 25 cents or 21 pence extra for 2 tickets he'd bought in 1999.
Wow. And how long did the court case take? 22 years? 21 years?
Just 22 years. A consumer court last week ruled in his favor and asked the railways to refund the amount with interest.
Ooh, with interest.
So he's only got an extra 3 or 4 cents.
Yeah. That seems appropriate, and I feel people don't take action on being overcharged by 25 cents enough.
Yeah, I mean, especially when he has attended 120 hearings in connection with the case. He says, but you can't put a price on the energy and time I've lost fighting this case.
True. So we won't give you any compensation for it then. You can't put a price on it. That's fine. Yeah, that seems... So
this is the story. The tickets cost 35 rupees each. But when he gave 100 rupees, the clerk returned 10 rupees, charging 90 rupees for the tickets instead of 70.
Okay.
He told the clerk he had overcharged him, but he didn't get any refund at the time, so he decided to file a case against the railway and the booking clerk in a consumer court. So yeah, wow. He took it to the Supreme Court and used the 2021 Supreme Court ruling to prove that the matter could be heard in a consumer court. After the long fight, the judgment ordered the railways to pay him a fine of 15,000 rupees or $188.
Yes, victory.
Plus, he got the 20 rupees at a 12% per year interest rate.
Nice. So, yeah.
But he's upset because he didn't get as much, and his family tried to dissuade him several times from pursuing the case, calling it a waste of time, but he kept going.
Yeah. How the hell does a court case last 20 fucking years? Like, there's something wrong there, especially when it's for 20 fucking cents. Like,
well, it's not about as he says, it's not the money that matters. This was always about a fight for justice and a fight against corruption, so it was worth it.
Was it though? You've spent 20 years fighting a case for the injustice of being overcharged 20 cents.
Well, he saved some money because he says also, since I'm an advocate myself, I didn't have to pay money to a lawyer or bear the cost of traveling to court. That can get quite expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a benefit or a bonus, but I still think he could have spent his time a lot better. 20 damn years, that's a lot. Like, that court case, they must have been taking the piss with this. I mean, like, let's just drag this out as long as we can, and then they just got tired of it. They're like, oh, whatever, let's do the next one.
They probably were like, yeah, just like, let's just annoy the shit out of this guy. Like, you can win, but you're gonna waste 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, consider it a tip to the person. It's anyone out there who's considering legal action for less than $1. Don't do it. It's not going to be worth your 20 years time invested.
It's kind of like driving a car at less than 4 miles per hour.
Which I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to go out. I'm going to go visit my parents. It's going to take me 16 weeks to get there, but still, it's going to be worth it.
I don't even know if it's even possible to drive a car that slow now.
It would probably take way more effort to keep it under 4 than anything. Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you don't even touch the accelerator, it's going to start rolling it. Yeah. Too fast.
Yeah, especially, as I said, like, if you get even the slightest fucking like the hill in it there, you're screwed. You're gonna hit 5-6 miles an hour. So.
But get back in the day when it was 2. Oh my god.
Yeah. Wow.
What about those San Francisco hills where it's just like steep down? How on earth would they have been driving back then?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, with other things that don't make sense, it's important to be early at the airport for flights, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's wrong.
Okay.
An airport is now urging passengers not to show up early for flights because it's causing overcrowding.
Right. Okay.
So some passengers at Stansted Airport are arriving 5 hours before their flights, the airport said. It's too early and it's causing overcrowding, and they want people to stop.
I mean, make your mind up. You want us to get there early, or you don't want us to get there early? Which is it? Come on.
Or if we don't get there early, we're going to miss the flight. If we do get there early, we're going to get banned from the flight.
Yeah. If we get there early, that's how much time it takes to get through security. If we don't get there early, there's not enough fucking time to get through security. So, yeah, not taking that one. Hire more staff, goddammit. Just fucking pay people.
Also, I can't drive over 4 miles per hour, so, I've got to... It's hard to judge how long it's going to take me. Because if I get going at 3 miles per hour, that is, I'm going to get there quick. But if I get stuck at 1, it could take me a lot more time. Because think about it. If I have to drive 5 miles, now if I drive 5 miles at 3 miles per hour, I get there in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
But if I do it at 1 mile per hour, it takes me 5 hours.
True. It's true. So there's a big difference.
Yeah. And I can't plan for the traffic. If you miss one traffic light, you're probably going to have to wait an extra 30 minutes.
True.
And then, of course, it's always the passengers' fault because they're inadequately prepared to pass through security and passport control.
That's true.
Well, it's true, but it's always been true. Like that's like saying that it didn't happen before, where people just were there and they're like, "Oh, I don't know where my ticket is or passport. I buried it in the back at the bottom of one of these bags, and I'll have to unpack each of them."
It is. It's like people queue up for like 40 minutes, whatever. Let's say on a good day, you queue for 40 minutes. They get to the front of the queue and they're like, wait, this is for security? I have to take all my stuff out of my pockets? What's going on? Like they drive me fucking crazy, people at the airport. But that's nothing new. They just don't have enough fucking security things open in the airports anymore. So
or enough staff working there, etc.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
I saw them forget a guy in a wheelchair at the security thing last night. And they're like, the security people were running after someone trying to like get them. They're like, hey, you left this old man here.
Fuck's sake.
Like, I don't know how you could, it's like, you can understand a bag sort of, like you can forget it. Like even then it's a bit stupid, but an old man in a wheelchair, you would think you would remember that you were pushing this guy through.
That's one of those things you shouldn't forget. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Where did Dad go? Oh, we must have left him at the...
Yeah, that's it's an awkward situation.
Yeah, you would think it'd be pretty straightforward. Well, they're not getting treated like VIPs though, like these people in Canada. Okay. Air Canada passengers say they were given yoga mats to sleep on after their flights were cancelled.
Nice.
These bums are complaining that they were given such prestigious service.
I feel like, be thankful you got a yoga mat. You could have just told you to fuck off and they're a step above Ryanair right there.
Well, we don't know that they didn't tell them to fuck off with the yoga mat. Here's a yoga mat, now fuck off.
I hope it was like someone on their last day of work was like, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I don't care anymore. Fuck you guys.
That would be so good. Well, they, some woman got to her flight from Toronto on Saturday at 3 p.m. was delayed after being cancelled at just after midnight, which would annoy the living hell out of you.
Yep.
Staff told passengers they couldn't offer compensation, food vouchers, or hotel accommodation. They were simply given small yoga mats to sleep on. She says that they ultimately slept in a women's nursing room, which had a lock on the door. There you go. Like, what more do you want?
Sounds like you got some private accommodations.
Yeah.
Something comfortable to lay on for a bit rather than being on the cold floor. And you should be grateful for what you got. So
yeah, another woman says that they were delayed multiple times and then cancelled, and they called 5 or 6 hotels and they were all sold out. And again, they were only provided yoga mats. So they slept on a restaurant bench, but most passengers slept on the floor. Well, the other thing is that like there are several different people from several different flights that have all had this same experience, which is fantastic.
So
branding for the airline.
Clearly, they had a meeting and they were like, hey, you know what we'll do? Get some fucking yoga mats. Because why else would an airline have yoga mats?
In multiple cities for multiple different flights.
Yeah. Be like, just give them yoga mats. They'll be super happy with that. Did they also have to return the yoga mats or were they free gift? See, that's the That's the thing. If it's like, hey, we're just giving you a free yoga mat, what are you bitching about?
Or did they sell it to them? Here's a yoga mat I have for sale. It's only $50.
It's a good sideline for the airline business, for the airline staff.
They hand out the yoga mats, and then people lie on them, and they're like, okay, and then they pull out the credit card machine and like, that'll be $50. And like, what? Well, I never said they were free. Did you pay extra for a yoga mat when you were going through the online booking system? They put it as one of those. They dodgy, they put one of those dodgy things where they're like, it automatically adds that you're buying the yoga mat to your purchase.
Yeah. You don't realize what it's for until the flight gets canceled and you're fucked at the airport.
That's their insurance policy. Like it says insurance, travel insurance included at $50 a day. And then when you read the fine print, the insurance says each day you will be loaned a yoga mat at $50 per day, discounted from our regular rate of $100.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
So if there's any airlines out there listening, don't actually make this a policy. It's just for comedic effect.
Yeah, it's a waste of money. Make them sleep on the floor.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. Are they paying for the electricity to keep the building warm? No. Are they paying for the toilet water? No.
Being uncomfortable in an airport is part of the traveling experience. We have all done it. We've all been like, kind of just awkwardly sitting in a chair somewhere, if you could get one. And then as soon as you get up to pee, someone steals your seat. That's just part of being in an airport. So like,
that's why you need to pee in the seat.
Yeah, that's what most of us do nowadays. So there you go.
Maybe take a sip. You won't have to waste money on those expensive airport drinks.
Actually, when I was in Melbourne Airport and I was leaving, I found this like seating area and there was nobody there. And I was sitting there for like 30 minutes. There was still nobody there. I got up to, buy a drink or something. By the time I came back, like 3 minutes later, someone was sitting in the only other person there sitting in the exact seat I had been sitting in. I was like, dude, the fuck?
You won the seat for them.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, it was, I think yoga mats are an unnecessary comfort in an airport. So
yeah. And I also think that it's important that we accept that the staff at the airport are busy and they have things to do, so we can't be expecting them to like do extra stuff for us. Yeah. And that's why I find this next article ungrateful, where it says airport video of runway staff filming social media clip enrages frustrated passengers.
Why? It's not affecting your day too much.
Well, it is, literally. Airline passengers have been left miffed after a video of staff taking time off the job to film social media content went viral. The guy posted with the caption, "Why is my bag taking so long?" And it says, "Airports, we don't have enough staff." And then it shows 5 cleaning staff dancing in front of a phone resting on the truck below the terminal.
It's kind of ironic he posted on social media about people posting on social media and complaining about it.
But I mean, he's a passenger, not a person working at the airport slowing down planes.
I can imagine working at the airport is not the most fun job in the world. So, it took them.
It's second.
I'm sure they took.
After like ice cream tester, it comes in second place in most people's.
Clearly.
When I grow up, I want to handle baggage.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. But I'm sure like their dance routine, whatever they were recording, didn't take 45 minutes. So it probably only took a minute or two. That shouldn't be a big deal.
They're doing choreographed dances though.
So, You got your free yoga mat. Shut the fuck up and just.
I feel like they fucked up. That what they should have done is danced inside like the cargo hold, and then no one would see it.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like they failed their responsibilities to hide.
It was probably some airline thinking, oh, this will be a great marketing thing. People will think our staff are super happy and delighted. And then they were like, everyone was giving out about them. They're like, oh, shit, that backfired. Get them a new yoga mat. But yeah, that's it's unfortunate.
Maybe they were stretching after having spent the night on a yoga mat.
Maybe so. Listen, when it comes to baggage handlers, I just want them to not break my shit. Baggage. So yeah, handle my baggage with care and delicately, please, if you don't mind. It's very sensitive. So that's all. That's all. But we don't want them to lose it either. Like this next guy, a man on a 2-week all-inclusive holiday left with just his swimming trunks after luggage goes missing. Now, firstly, there are a couple of problems with this story. One, that implies that he wasn't wearing anything on the plane. That's what I was thinking.
2, he's in photos not in swimming trunks. So
I think he's caught himself out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just going to be sitting on the beach anyway. So what's he need clothes for?
Yeah, well, he says he was flew with 4 children and another 5 adults on a 6K pounds all-inclusive holiday. The family got through security and passport control with no problems, and their flight was only delayed by 55 minutes. But when they got to the baggage claim in Mallorca, problems started to arise as Paul and his sister-in-law's bags did not appear. We flew out on Tuesday and dropped cases at Manchester Monday night, thinking it'll help them out and being aware of the issues. The flight was delayed by 55 minutes, but we were okay with that. So then they didn't come. The bags didn't come. I'd packed a small number of items into our other 2 cases, but did take a gamble. That's a bit odd. I'm gonna pack like all my other stuff except underwear in other bags too, but not my underwear. Yeah. It's all going in one bag and hoping I'm gambling that's gonna get lost. Okay. He explained that due to his ADHD, he needed to iron and fold his clothes in a certain way in their own case, meaning he had almost nothing with him in Mallorca. So at the end of the day, he didn't have any underwear because of his ADHD, which has to be the weirdest reasoning.
Yeah, I feel like that's his fault. You got to assume at some point your bag's going to go missing. It's just going to happen at some point. But
well, the article gets a bit weirder here. It says all Paul had was the shirt and shorts he had on at the time and a pair of swimming shorts. So are they saying he was going commando? And if so, if you're willing to go commando on the plane, I feel like you're willing to go commando the rest of your holiday.
Feel like you are, yeah.
Maybe his ADHD only lets him go commando on planes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. Which is probably the last place you should. But
yeah.
So,
I like to go. I like to go pantsless on the plane. Let it breathe.
Oh, that's just
They offered him £25 per day for a maximum of 3 days, and he says, "How mad is this? I'm on a 14-day holiday and I have to go out and buy clothes with that pitiful amount. I've spent £150 on new clothes. Obviously, our travel insurance may provide extra, but that is a claim I'm yet to make. I've spoken to them to confirm how to proceed." So this whole story is like, first of all, 75 pounds of underwear is a lot of underwear.
Yes. Yes. I feel like you could get through 14 days with 75 pounds. I think you could. So,
not to mention, you then go on to say you had travel insurance and the travel insurance may cover more. At which point, how many holes are there in this story? And
he's made hundreds off this from his insurance, no doubt about it. He has made if he had travel insurance, he's getting well refunded for or reimbursed for his purchases, and and now he has so much more underwear for his next trip.
Well, he did say I'd bought most of the items specifically for the holiday, including ironing every single one.
I'm good for you, man. I want more money. I ironed all my underpants. All of my boxers were pristine. Not a crease in sight.
Yeah. I have no definite information where this case is. If it's in Manchester Airport or traveled on a different flight somewhere else. They don't have any customer service, he says. I feel like start with wearing underwear on a plane for one.
Start with that. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Bring a couple of spares in your carry-on just in case. Yeah. Don't go to a newspaper because you're only getting £75 to buy underwear from the company. Chill the fuck out, enjoy your holiday, and don't go commando on a plane. That's the big lessons here, I think.
I say do go commando. Leave a present for the next passenger that has to sit in that seat.
No, man, no. Planes are bad enough. Just fucking...
He has ADHD to the level that he has to iron his underwear specifically, but he doesn't have ADHD enough to not go commando.
There's a few holes in the story, to be honest, but this is his 15 minutes of fame. This is his like, hey, I'm in the newspaper. It's because he didn't have pants on his holiday.
And he's going to make the most of it.
Next up, the life rights being sold to Warner Brothers for a movie.
For only £150, which is not enough to buy an iron.
Unbelievable.
Well, finally, now let me know if you think this is a little bit over the top. People are confused why a groom married his bride only to blow their relationship up straight away. Now,
I feel like we've had a similar story to this.
Well, I think this is a little bit different.
Okay, cool.
A groom chose his wedding day to expose his bride's infidelity by playing an X-rated video of her in bed with another man to guests.
Nice.
The wedding party in China can be seen reacting in disbelief after the bedroom scene featuring the bride and her new husband's brother-in-law playing out from a projector at the couple's reception.
Wait. Oh.
So the key part here is that he went through with the marriage, with this prepared and all this shit. And then after they legally are married and that part of the ceremony is done, he then decides to play the thing to everyone.
Yeah, that's a weird way to go about it. I think you would have called her out on it just before saying I do and signing a legal document. But hey, whatever. I like that. He's like, hey, I got this video to show you guys. And then just
it's like she was cheating as well with her pregnant sister-in-law's husband.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
But great woman to marry, I say.
I feel like he could have done better. I don't know this guy, but I feel like he could have done better. That's got to be probably the weirdest thing thing to happen. You know, we're going to do speeches in a minute, but first, I want to show you.
Imagine having to do the speech after that. We're so happy that she met him.
Everybody raise a glass.
To the lovely couple. To a happy life together and in sickness and in health, and to your sister-in-law's pregnancy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having that in up your sleeve, and you're like, "Oh, this bitch is gonna get it." Right after we get married, at the reception, have a nice dinner, get all our friends together, and then I'm going to reveal I know all about it.
Well, it was also claimed the bride had suffered domestic violence at the hands of the groom and sought comfort with his sister's husband.
I feel like that's not who you would go to for comfort in that situation. And then you also wouldn't take your clothes off and start doing sex things. So, you know, he's domestic violence. Want to fuck? Don't think that's where that would go. That's a weird one.
No, my wife is having a baby.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Or it's just a weird one. Yeah, I think I would have called it before the wedding, though. You know, just be like, got something to show y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
you do it at the church or wherever it's happening. Like, you know, just be like, before the wedding, here's a movie.
I made a video dedicated to our love.
Yeah, you know, a little bit of editing wouldn't have been too difficult to learn how to put like the Universal logo on the front of it. Bit of music, sound effects.
With the lion going.
It's produced by Rocco Siffredi or something like that at the start.
And it's saying, wait, everybody, we got to wait for the cum shot. This is the best part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you were going to be hooking up with your brother-in-law, you probably should make sure there's no cameras filming it. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the first things you need to know.
Okay, we're going to do this. Wait. What's that camera and lighting setup doing?
Ignore that. Don't worry. Ignore the guy with the boom pole and the...
Oh, okay.
I always get makeup done before I fuck.
Yeah, you know.
And get
nice.
your brother to direct it too for me.
It's nice to know people are out there living their lives, having these adventures.
Yeah. God, imagine the parents.
Oh, that would be horrific as a parent. Sit there and be like, oh, shit.
Well, there's my daughter's pussy getting fucked by.
Yeah, not by not her husband, who was just married her.
We just blew $40,000 on this wedding, and
it's the other thing, yeah.
The flowers. I said we should have gone with cheaper flowers, and then she forced me to go to the more expensive flowers. All for this.
Yeah. You know, I hope his second wife.
Was the makeup worth it, bitch?
I wonder, did he actually do a mic drop? Just be like, here's a video. Wow.
No, he didn't want to damage the microphone. That would be disrespectful.
That's a good point. Yeah. Wow, that's fucking crazy, man. But,
yeah. Well, that's wedding goals, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. In the future, look out for that to happen. Anyways.
On that note.
May
everyone's weddings be happy.
Full of drama. Oh, happy. Yeah, sorry.
Full of
makes more
drama
sense.
so we can talk about it.
Yeah, we need content. So,
We need
it's all
someone to
good.
top that.
If your wedding has been crazier, please let us know. Sweet. All right, man. Well, it's been an interesting one. We learned about history, time travel, and some random
And why we need
weddings.
to legalize drink driving, because 10 pints is enough to drive at 30
Apparently.
miles per hour.
Apparently, yeah.
I-
All right,
I-
well.
yeah. If you're driving under 4, you should be able to drink 10 pints.
You know, I think it's harder to drive under 4. Yeah, but interesting times. All right, man. I think we should call it, and we're not going to get any better stories than that this week. But next week, hopefully, we'll have another episode of interestingness.